What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Bokeh Garage, and I'm gonna give you guys a little life update real quick. As you can see, the garage is full of crap. We got some nice NRG seats for the EK project, but you can see the garage is full of stuff, all my work tools and things like that, because the Fusion out there has decided to give me a rod knock. So that's pretty much the end of the Fusion, so I had to empty it all out and, just get ready to work on these cars. And I don't know if I've ever covered it in previous videos, but the Impreza was having a bumping sound when I would drive it, and I finally got underneath it and I took a look at it, and I think I figured out what the issue is. I'll splice in the image right here. But if I'm not mistaken, the front U-joint connected to the yoke and the drive shaft is just straight cracked. And that's why the whole thing is rumbling, boom, 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 and shaking the whole car when I drive. And if it is just the U-joint, that's a blessing in disguise, because I was originally thinking it was the center differential, but I'm hoping that's not it. I'm hoping it's just that U-joint. So today, we are going to jack up the car, try and take off our exhaust, try and take off the drive shaft, and inspect it and see what's going on. And unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I guess, whatever, obviously the Toyota needs some transmission work. So if we sell the Fusion, we're going to use that to repair the Toyota, its transmission issue that it has, which is the throwout bearing. And this will become one of the daily drivers, as well as this. Now, I said unfortunately the 8.6 is going to become a daily driver, because this is like my weekend car, my fun car. I don't exactly want to use this car ever for work. I do general contracting, and I don't ever want to put dirty tools inside this car, but it is what it is if I have to. So we're going to try and focus on getting that working today. This is going to be a little bit interesting, because I noticed right now that the legs on my GoPro stand are missing. So I don't know how I'm going to mount this up for you guys to get footage, but we'll try. All right, guys, so I apologize. I kind of cut off footage there while I was jacking up the car. My tried and true old red, like ancient jack just stopped lifting. So I had to try and pull out another old ancient jack, and it doesn't work. And then I had to pull out my third and last final solution jack, which is an AC Delco small little thing, and it barely got the car up enough. So we're able to get underneath there, give the car a shake test. Obviously, you can see we're jacked up in all corners, wheels off the floor, just barely, but all the jacks are sturdy. And we're gonna try and get under here. And unfortunately, we're gonna unbolt our exhaust from here, probably unbolt it from there, unbolt it from there. And actually, we might be able to just unbolt it from there and there, I guess. I don't know, because we got to get up in here to our drive shaft, and that's not going to be fun. We got to remove it from the housing there. Then I've got to probably take that bottom casing of that housing off there, take off the heat shields, take off all this stuff that I just was not really in the mood to do. But if that's what it takes to get the Subaru going back and whatnot, if all it is just a U-joint, I'd say we get pretty lucky if all it is a U-joint. I mean, what else could you guys hope for when your car is making a thud, 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 thud sound, shaking the whole car? You'd be so lucky that it's just the U-joint. So, looking for a cable real quick so I can charge the GoPro, because it is half charged, and I want to be able to record this for you guys. But we're going to get underneath there, and we're going to see what we can do, what we can take off, and you guys are going to come along with me. All right, so let's get under here and find out what these are. I'm assuming those are going to be like 17. No, that's a 14. Okay, cool. So that fit right on there. That's kind of perfect. It's kind of wishing I could just take it off from like over here, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to be possible. So maybe not. We'll see. I guess it won't hurt to try. Yeah, we'll try. So screw it. Adventure. We're going to try and take off. I don't even know if I'd call that a center bearing, the center part, but we're going to try to take it off from here. Because I should be able to slide the exhaust out, or the drive shaft out, once I have the exhaust off fully. Oh, I just noticed. I thought that was welded to it. Nope, that's just the actual bolt. I apologize for the sound, guys. I know it's kind of reminding me of like nails on a chalkboard. It is not the most pleasant sound. But it's what you get when you're fighting with old rusty, crusty bolts connected by a spring. Got that side loosened up. Let's move the other side. Kind of get them off in tandem if I can. There we go. And that little donut there, the donut gasket, I'm wondering if I can reuse that. In most cases, these things are pretty old and brittle, and you can't really reuse them. But we'll see. And who knows, guys, I may not get lucky. Like, I'm hoping that all I have to do is take out, like, you know, just this section. But sometimes I'm not that lucky when it comes to car work, and I might have to take out the whole section up ahead. Now, in most cases, guys, if you have another jack, which I'm going to go look, you would kind of want to support this so that when you do the back end, it doesn't just fall down. Because you don't want to damage your exhaust, unless you're just swapping it out for, like, you know, a 2-inch or a 3-inch exhaust aftermarket kit or something. Then you don't care, but I kind of care, so I'm going to go try and find another jack. Alright, ask and you shall receive. I found another jack. Simple, cheap little hyper tough thing for my O'Reillys or whatnot. But honestly, it just got to catch the bottom part of that exhaust after I go do the front or the back end, and it should be good. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see me, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're here in the back now. Kind of got my jack in the way, and it's looking like the bolts back here are both going to be 14s. I'm not entirely sure. So that's a 14 on that side. Yeah, that's a 14 also on that side. So unlike the front, which was a 14 and a 12, this is a 14 and 14. So I got to go grab my other 14 wrench. Alright, so we're back, guys. We got our 14 millimeters for both sides, so let's get this off if we can. And just remember, guys, car work like this isn't for everyone. If you do not feel secure underneath your car, you do not have to be underneath your car. Don't get underneath it if you're not feeling safe and secure. I feel fine-ish. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to break this loose. I don't have any penetrating fluid that I think of. But I might need a hammer, so I'll be right back again. Alright, I'm back underneath. Got some penetrating fluid in the form of good old WD-40. And I also brought a hammer with me because I have a feeling I'm going to have to smack this thing. So I'm sure that it's not going to be the nicest, easiest thing to get off. Sorry I got super quiet there, guys, but look at that. These are some of the rustiest bolts I've ever dealt with in a long time. They did not want to come off. That always makes for a good time. A good time, obviously. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you're not comfortable with getting underneath your cars, don't get under your car. Like, I get it. The idea of working on your car yourself and whatnot is one of the funnest ideas and cool and concept and whatnot. But if you're not used to it, you haven't done it before, or you're just, you know, a little too scared or skeptical, it's okay. Work within your limits. Start from where you can and what you can do. You don't have to impress nobody, and you don't have to do nothing you're not comfortable with. But now, I got to figure out how I'm going to get this exhaust off, because we have our beautiful rubber right here. It's the only thing that's holding us up. And I got to somehow get it off. Oh, wow. The old gasket just crumpled. So that's always nice. That's fine. We were probably going to replace gaskets anyway, so that is what it is. Move our jack out of place so we can get access to the front. Our donut doesn't look in bad shape. Looks pretty good. There we go. Pop, pop. Just again, remember, be careful, guys. Always be safe with what you're working with. I've taken off exhausts before of cars. I've never done it before on the Subaru. This is the first time for the Subaru, but, you know, it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of like almost any other car. Just got to be safe. You don't want to be directly underneath the stuff when you're taking it off, because that's how you end up smacking yourself in the face, which is never a fun time for anyone. Now I got to find my sockets. We're going to take off the heat shield and try and gain access to the drive shaft, which is right here. But we got a bracket. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. There's a bracket up there. We got to take this off to get access to that, and we got to unbolt that, and we got to take out this opening shroud here. You know, fun stuff. So what is it looking like, 12s? I can't tell. Well, we'll find it. Try and position you guys to where you can hopefully see. I'm hoping you guys can see. I can't tell right now what the GoPro can see. You know, guys, I'm thinking after just removing those two bolts from the shroud, I have access to the mount for the center bearing. I may not have to take off the whole front end. I could probably just, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but I can fully see the bearing mount. I have plenty of access. I could probably get in there, just take off this so that when I undo the drive shaft, I can pull it out, pull this down, pull it back, blah, blah, blah. But I may be able to get to those as is. And those are looking like 14s. Yeah, I think those are 14s. I'm going to try and sit you guys up in here or something. I don't know. Alright, so let's see what these are. Is that a 14 there? That it is. And that's a 14 there. Alright. So we already got our 14 on hand, and you guys should be able to see what I am kind of working with. Gonna get off this center bearing. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to come off last or first or whatever, so I'm not gonna fully unbolt it all the way. I'm just gonna loosen it to where we can get access to it. But yeah, after removing the heat shield, definitely got good access to it. Which, by the way, guys, again, if you're doing this underneath your car, be careful, not just because, like, rocking the car or whatever, but be careful with these heat shields. Like, when you're, like, you know, wrenching on it, these can cut you. If you're going too fast or too hard, they can definitely mess up your day. And not fun. Not fun at all. So this here, which is, like, just the shielding for the rear diff. This, not even rear diff, it's just a shielding for the drive shaft. We're going to try and get this off. Try and break these bolts free. They're also 14s. At least that one was in the center. Yeah, that's a 14. That's not a 14. No, it's a 14. It's just very dirty and junked up. Same with that one. Oh, it's just a lot of dirt. Never mind. They're 14s. So probably going to use a breaker bar to get these busted loose. So be right back. I'm going to go grab my blue breaker bar. Alright guys, so slight change of plans. I could not find my actual breaker bar, but I found my extension bar that I use for removing tires. Yeah, that definitely gave me enough to break it loose. Yeah, there you go. So I use this to break it loose, and then I'll obviously use the ratchet to take it off. Yeah, there we go. It's always nice to have a little bit of leverage with a bigger bar. Alright, and just like that, we got the drive shaft end piece cover on. Now, obviously, that's not all there is to it. We got to still remove the bolts here on the drive shaft, which I don't even know if you guys can see me poking at. They're right here. And then we got to take off the center thing, the center bearing, and then should hopefully just pull right out. Alright, guys, as for this part here, I cannot see, and I kind of figured 12mm socket was not going to fit up in there. I don't even think the ratcheting side of the 12mm will fit up in there. So this is where the fun begins. So my ratcheting 12 fits up in there, which is nice. That'll help us out. I can get that up in there. That's the question. Oh man, those are on there. Make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah, that's loosening. Okay. I think either that or I slipped off. Nope, that's loosening it. Sometimes I get turned backwards, guys, when I'm upside down and all around. Like, I forget which way's loosen and tightening, especially when I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. There's one bolt in our washer. Don't want to lose that. It's a crush washer. I'm hoping you guys can see this, or else you guys are just seeing a random under part of the car and I'm talking like an idiot. Now the fun part is I gotta go back in the car and put it in neutral so I can actually turn the drive shaft. And there we go, guys. Sorry I got quiet in the last couple clips because honestly, I was playing musical chairs, musical nuts and bolts, because normally I can, on my 8.6 over there, when it's in neutral, I can turn the entire drive shaft, like, no problem. Apparently, maybe in an automatic it's different, but, it was not the case. But we got it out. We got it out. And you can see right here, that U-joint is destroyed. That was our issue right there. Look at that. That thing is just dead. So, the fun part is now trying to figure out how to get that U-joint off, because I don't know how to do that. So we might do that off camera, because I might have friends help me with that, because I'm not a U-joint guy. So, I guess I'll see you guys in a moment. All right, guys, so I don't know where we left off. Obviously, we're removing the drive shaft. We got it off. I'm pretty sure I hit record, so we're going to hope that I did. I'm going to splice in some footage here to show what the car was doing, like how bad it was rumbling and shaking and whatnot with this bad drive shaft. And now that you guys saw how bad it was shaking, would you guys like to see the condition of the drive shaft? So if we go looking at it, U-joint back there looks fine. Honestly, it moves and does everything it's supposed to do. There's the weights right there. The center U-joint, again, looks fine. Like, that doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. It does what it needs to do. The center bearing, I don't know what this is called. I just keep calling it the center bearing, but the bearing is fine and doing what it wants to do, what it needs to do. The front, I don't know what this part's called, guys. It's like the yoke or the spindle. It's the part that goes into the transmission. But as you can see right there, it is cracked, and it is not fine, and it is not doing what it should be doing. Like, look at that. I could almost pull the entire U-joint out just from turning the yoke, and parts of metal just breaking off right there. It's destroyed. So, yeah. Hey, look at that. It is almost coming out. But, so, that's where we're at. The U-joint is pretty much destroyed on the spindle. The yoke is just got to be replaced. So I was looking online, and it's about $40 for a brand new U-joint. Now, here's the funny thing. I called AutoZone, I called O'Reilly's, and I called Napa. None of them can get the U-joint. Like, according to them, in their systems, it just does not come up with any information. So apparently, it's just not a thing that they can get. And I tried looking for, like, any kind of identification numbers on this U-joint, and all I see is the number 14, which is not enough to do a cross-reference. So I doubt I could just go and find a random U-joint and just pop it in there. Plus, with the spindle yoke thingy being broken, obviously I'm not going to reuse that because it's just going to break again. So what we did find, I'll pop it up on my screen here. We found a brand new aftermarket drive shaft on eBay for $130. And we're just going to do that because it comes with the entire drive shaft for the all-wheel drive automatic 95 Impreza, which is what we got. Automatic for now. But it comes with brand new rear U-joints, brand new center U-joints, brand new center bearing thing, and brand new front U-joint, and brand new yoke. So it comes with literally everything. Like, just a brand new drive shaft. So I can just pop it in, bolt it up, and call it a day, and then the Subaru can be back on the road, and we'll be happy because we will have the Subaru on. So I'm glad that I finally decided to tackle this, because the Subaru has been sitting for like a month now, sort of. Like, yeah, about a month. And that knocking sound that it was having was just very not happy to hear. It sucked to hear. It sucked that it was happening, but we now know what it is, what it was, and we have rectified it. We're going to rectify it. Unfortunately, we have to wait like 2 to 4 days for the new drive shaft to arrive, which sucks, but it is what it is. Can't cry over spilt milk kind of thing. We just got to wait for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle taking the drive shaft and the exhaust and all that stuff off of this car. It's definitely a learning experience. Like I said before, and I've said it again, and I'll say it again, if you are not comfortable getting underneath your car and you do not know what you're doing and you are new to cars, it is okay to be afraid and be like, you know what, this is not for me. I want to ask for help, or I want someone else to do it, or you take it to a shop. There is no shame in knowing your limits as a car guy. So, but if you guys are crazy like me, or you've done stuff like this before and you know how to do it, by all means, go for it, but be safe. Always make sure that your car is jacked up. Try to be on a flat surface, which I am not. I'm on a slight slant. However, I have checked. I have pushed the car. I've tried knocking it over. I cannot get to knock over. All the jacks are flat. We still have the jacks there supporting it. So just be careful and be safe. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Next episode, we will probably be installing the new drive shaft and getting the Subaru back on the road the way it should be. So until then, guys, I hope you stay safe, have fun out there, and remember, every broken car is an adventure, and this sure has been one heck of an adventure. So don't forget to leave me a like, leave me a comment of, what you think about the whole process of taking off a drive shaft. And don't forget to subscribe, because I would love to hit 500 to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I can't do it without your guys' help. But until next time, stay safe. Later.